what I had now to kickstart my budgeting, 45,650 from writing income. As you can see from my income sources, we have writing income, we have YouTube income, we have declutter income. Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. In case you're new here, my name is Masika Rani, Kenyan content creator based in Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome back to our channel. Now, today is just a usual video, a rare video of me oversharing. I don't mind sharing because I believe tutasaidiana out there, and I believe sometimes we learn through, or rather, as a creator, if I create content that is relatable, it makes even more sense and gives you value. That is what I think about this video. Anyway, in case you're new here, I do freelancing, that is writing and stuff. I'm also a YouTuber, as you can see. Probably that is where you got to know me. And in the past few months, I have been into the decluttering business, and that has added into the sources of income. Now, guys, let me tell you, I am not so bad with money. By the way, we are talking, from the title you can tell, we are talking about budgeting, and I want to share how I started my budgeting. Although nisha fail, sitawadanganya. Hata nilifail the first 2 weeks, na nitawaexplainia how. Now, I have never been so bad with money. However, not being good doesn't mean I'm not bad. I don't know whether I'm making sense. So what I'm trying to say, I have been somehow good with money. Before, nimeishi kujua, if kama nangoja 20k, hata before ifike kwa mkono, nishaiplania. So basically, it's like I have been working with zero budgeting. However, sometimes, just like a human being, wanna decide, wacha tupigie mwili pole. You get? And now sometimes you end up not even doing as planned, but most of the time, that is how I operate. Singojangi pesa ifike kwa mkono, and then I budget, or rather plan, pesa ikiwa kwa mkono. You get? Because money is tempting, and you can decide. A vacation works right now. So, as a freelancer, it means I do not have a paycheck. It means I am not on payroll. I do not have a certain source of income. Or rather, I do not have a consistent source of income. And still, see guarantee that I will make it. You get? And now you have to work around what you have. Now, the whole of last year, I've been thinking about starting a budget. I've been thinking about starting budgeting. But the issue was, or rather the excuse was, I need a tracker. I need the word so I can start budgeting. Those are just excuses. You know what? This year, I posted on my Instagram that I want to start budgeting, nini. And one of my followers, who is also my high school mate, is a finance coach, and she usually sells these templates, the monthly budgeting templates, and she was so kind to me, and she decided to share her tracker with me so I can start budgeting. And she was so kind to guide me and everything, and I was so good to go. Now, before getting the tracker, or no, not before, actually after getting the tracker, that was in March, I decided, since I am not waiting for anyone to pay me at the end of March, what I will do, the few coins that I will get I would get for the last 2 weeks in March is what I will use to kickstart my budgeting in April. And that is what I did. Whatever I got, I kept it to start budgeting when April came. Now, first of all, before even we get to the budgeting, most of you will know the 50, 30, 20 budgeting, the zero budgeting, depending on what works for you. But I'm not here to teach anyone about budgeting. I just want to share what works for me. Then, in March, what I had done to make sure that there will be minimal to no touching, as in sitaguza hiyo pesa yenye nitakuwa nimemake for the last 2 weeks. What I did was, bills zangu kuwa, rent is due between the 1st and 9th of every month. Then between 13th to 15 depending na month iko na siku ngapi is when my monthly data subscription is due. I need that because whenever I am outside and someone wants me to post items, to do what, I need data. That, and it's quite economical, guys. I am. That, my chama is usually due on 25th. Then my internet is usually due at around 28th. So what I usually do, or rather what I had done before starting now, so ndio niweze kuweka hii pesa ya the last 2 weeks, was nikilipa rent na make sure, of course data siezi lipa before, but I usually make sure what I can pay ahead of time I pay. For instance, chama unaweza lipa anytime, so unaweka hiyo pesa ya chama kwa chama. We have an app, actually si chama, it's a sacco. We have an app, so unaweka as mapema as umeipata. That is what I did. Internet pia I can pay as mapema as possible. So that means from 15th sinanga bills ziko due, and the only thing ni shopping and upkeep ya the day to day. So that is how I was able kuokota hiyo pesa ya kuanza budgeting, to kickstart budgeting, guys. Let me show you nitaekea hapa kwa screen ndio muweze kuona. Now it's the yake in this case, but anakuanga hadi na daily budgeting tracker yenye pia inakuja to the end month. Anaweza kuguide, anaweza kuwa accountability partner wako. She's so good. She's so good. In case you want me to share her number, unaweza niambia, then pia naweza muuliza before ndio tujue. So hii yake ni the 50-30 budgeting rule of thumb. 50% mandatory bills and expenses, 30% savings, investments and debt repayments, 20% wants, entertainment, giving and miscellaneous. Now, when it comes to income, by the way, nilifail I think the first, hata hatukumaliza first 2 weeks. Mutaona tu hapa nikiwaekea kuzadi internet yangu haiko hapa, chama haiko hapa. And what happened is, for quite some time I had decided I want now to get someone to help me in the house, because I have a baby, and if you kama wewe ni mom, you know raising a kid is a full-time job, and I have other things. So by the end of the day ina end up kukua hectic. Also I was going out for house tours. Yeah, ilikuwa na a lot of inconveniences. So when I decided, the decision was, now I can't wait anymore. When I decided now this is the time, it was an abrupt decision, and that means I didn't have money for, you know, I need an extra bed, I need an extra mattress, duvet and stuff. So that means I went back to my M-Shwari. Yeah, loans. Because as per the time I was starting my budgeting, you'll just see, nitawaonesha tu hiyo nini hapa, I didn't have a loan. Mimi nimekuwa nikipenda loans, by the way. Na sielewangi kwa nini wao mna troll celeb wenu, maceleb wenu wakiwa na madeni. Imagine hata wao ni kama sisi. They're just trying to make ends meet. Wengine ni venye levels zao za shida si kama zetu, ziko juu, ana deal na millions. Anyway, actually wanasemaga utaipata mtu mwenye vitu zake ziko put together akienda kutroll mwingine. Anyway, a topic for another day. So what happened, I had for the past 2 weeks nilikuwa na kama what I had now to kickstart my budgeting, 45,650 from writing income. As you can see from my income sources, we have writing income, we have YouTube income, we have declutter income. Now, actually this it's not complete, because that month I had income from my YouTube, but it's not here. It was around, I think 10,000 or so. As you can see from now, we'll just deal with what I had. 45,650 from writing, then declutter it was 11,052. That is what nilikuwa nimegather for the last 2 weeks to kickstart my April. Umeelewa? Just like watu wenye wako kwa paycheck, cause see, end of whatever they get at the end of March is what they used to plan for their April. Yeah, so the total was 712. Now we have total ya income, alafu total ya expenses, savings and investment. Nilikuwa bado naekanga pesa MMF. Siku hizi I don't sieki, but nikipata mingi iweze kugawanika, yenye sitaeka leo alafu kesho niende kutoa, I'll get back to kuweka huko. But then nilikuwa nimeweka savings and investment. I had 13,530 na chums. That was like within a week or so. Debts sikuwa na debt. Mandatory bills and expenses zilikuwa that 190. Once and giving 165. Total expenses was 54,885, and I had a balance of 1827 to keep running. You get? Hey, budgeting is hard. Yani, and I think most of us, we avoid budgeting because anything that is tough, I think as human beings, we avoid so much. And I think budgeting needs a lot of consistency. It needs discipline. Yani, discipline ndio baba yao. Yo! Anyway, from my expense category, you can see savings and investment. I had in my emergency fund, I had that 13,530. Can you see? We need to make a lot of money, guys, because utaweka nini to your emergency fund, sinking fund, retirement fund, home ownership fund? Unaanza as mapema as now. Actually, saisi mapema kwa mtu kama mimi. I'll be turning 27. Yo! Kitambo I used to think mama wa 27 years kona gari nini akona everything put together. Look at me. But we thank God. I am so grateful for the far I have come, because we're si sako, chama, shares, other investment, and total. Now debt repayment, I didn't, like I've said before, I didn't have a debt, so I had opted that on my debt part, I'll pay my mom's mshwari whenever we have, okay, time yenye maybe mama kona issue na nimeanza kuleta mama yangu kwa mitandao. Anyway, yeah, anachukuaga maybe ngombe zake hazina food, I don't have money, ama sina, mostly I don't have money. Sisi sema sina budget ya mama yangu before. Sasa ndio nataka kuanza kuwa very strict because man yeah, but yeah, anaweza chukua. So nilikuwa nimeopt cause nilikuwa nimeopt nitalipa. Acha nimalizie hapo niache moshene. Then mandatory bills and expenses, rent, water, garbage. Now this template akishare na mimi water and garbage zilikuwa kando. Actually nimeadjust to what fits me. Kuna vitu mingi zilikuwa eat out nini, zingine ziko bado, nails nini and zingine, to be honest, pesa yenye ninapata haiwezi gawanyika ifike huko. Sometimes once in a while I'll do that, but it's not a monthly thing. So kitu kama rent, water and garbage kwangu tuna niningi pamoja, tunazilipa pamoja, so nikaziweka pamoja, ndio pia hizo pati zingine niweke vitu zingine. Mtaziona tu, mnaona hapo ikirun kwa screen. It's 13,800. Squeeze hata imeanza kuwa mingi to 14 hivyo. Food, shopping, meat, cereals 5522, medical cover 550. Now I used to use NHIF and I had paid up to this year April, but since they moved to SHA, I was told that if you had paid ahead of time, it cancelled na wenye wako wamelipa and stuff. Now nilichukua hiyo SHA, but I'm still discouraged. If niko na pesa, I would pay for a better insurance, although kuna discussion nimekuwa nikiona zikiendelea about insurance, and now I'm left wondering, do we insure ourselves? Tunaita life assurance. Whatever. But so hapo penye nimeweka medical cover, that is pesa zenye nilitumia I think for that week to buy madawa. I think that was for my son. Transport, now most of the time when I'm going to shoot nini chama, unaona now, that is why I'm saying it's not complete, because you can see my chama iko imewekwa pesa then. So yeah, transaction charges zilikuwa zimefika 428, and this was like for a week, guys. By the kuna hesabu zenye ukipiga, unajua Actually nimeishi kukua mtu yule mwenyewe, nikisikia mtu ana complain about transaction ya 11 bob, I'm like ni 11 pekee. But guys, ukiaccumulate hizo tu pesa, kuna hesabu unaweza piga useme man, acha niende withdraw your dough, especially for the day to day activities, ikuange cash. Then babysitting now, then I had that option because I used to pay 300 to the lady who used to babysit my son. But right now that I have a help, I would replace that with maybe house help. Internet / Wi-Fi, that is not paid. That means venye nimewambia, hii nini yangu haikuenda sana, this is for like a week or two. Airtime monthly subscription, I usually take the 1000 subscription option, which is 8 GB, 400 minutes, and I think 1000 SMS. Good thing is, if I don't use, kama sitatumia sana for this month, it means next month, like right now zimepile ni mingi, means next month kama siko poa financially, naweza opt instead ya kuchukua dhao, nichukue option yenye iko chini. Sasa hiyo inakuwa challenging, minutes zinakuwa kidogo, but unaweza work around that. Electricity, pia sijaweka option ya electricity, and it's like 2000 or so. Gas, now this is the month that I decided an extra gas wouldn't hurt. Coffee farming, I have a project. I have a coffee farming project, and most of the time I have to buy chemicals every month, sometimes manure, sometimes fertilizer. It depends with the month. Sometimes if it's season ya kuchuna, I need to send something for the people who will be doing the work and stuff, all that. Salon and nails, it has nothing, but some months I survive like that. Other months I'll go to the salon, depends na mfuko. And sometimes, actually before sijakuwa nikidecide naenda salon ama nini, it has been leo naamka kichwa inasema twende salon, twende. Actually one thing I want to learn is to budget for something, because that without budgeting, that is how you end up buying wants instead of needs. We are not ready for this discussion. And then soko, by the way, I noticed is something else that consumes a lot of money, and nowadays I actually prefer not to go myself, because I might be in need of just some greens, ama veggies, and how I end up paying like 450, 500. Sometimes it's just crazy. Then when we come to wants, giving and all, entertainment budget has nothing. Ordering in, I think that week I had ordered from KFC. By the way, I used to love KFC. Right now, yani KFC ingeniharibia maisha. Sijui nime outgrow aje hiyo nini. Hiyo kupenda KFC, sikuwa imagine I could get here. Then we have family. Giving ya family. Now nimezicategorize into, kuna giving peke yake, utaiona tu hapo. Giving peke yake, that means external giving, kama someone has added me to group ya matanga, wedding and stuff. Then family, it's now when I need to send money home, when like that time ilikuwa the Easter holidays, and my young sister was coming here together with my mom, and all that, so I needed to send them some money. Uber 500. I don't use taxis most of the time unless if need be, and most of the time it's only when I'm shopping, like because matatu itanisumbua na shopping. Otherwise for now simide juu sina pesa mingi ya unajua every now and then. Outdoor activities none at the time. Skin, hair and body products. That month, instead of ordering my Garnier products from Jumia, or rather via Jumia, which is usually cheaper, when I went to do shopping at Naivas, imagine I decided to get my sunscreen from them, which was 1200. Was it 1200? And then my moisturizer. And I think I spent almost 500. Ilikuwa expensive na kitu 6 or so. Piga my sub girl math. Now wardrobe needs right now none. Giving 1300, I think nilikuwa nimeadiwa somewhere. Then miscellaneous cost none. Once to and that zilikuwa 165. That's it for my budgeting. So what I'm trying to say guys, naweza recommend, si lazima uanze hivi. Actually kuna hadi budgeting zenye unaweza andika chini, but that itakuwa tiresome, especially for vitu kama transaction cost, juni twingi and fair transport, especially kama unaenda kila siku. Hiyo inakuwa mingi. Ukaweza kupata template, the better. Of course it's hectic ku fill in every now and then, but pia kama mko na option, someone has a better option that works for them, unaweza recommend, we try, cause waje niwaambie hii life budgeting is very important. Discipline itatufikisha hapo, yes, but we have to keep pushing until we get there. Kitu naweza recommend pia ni, if possible, ukiweza ku pay ahead of time, like ukipata pesa leo, si lazima ungoje for the next 2 weeks ndo ulipia bill that you'll still pay, cause sometimes pesa ikiwa idle, kai, itakusumbua. Hey, alafu pia mashinda, unajua ndo utaanza kusikia akina nani hawana food, akina nani, as in utajipata you want to solve shida za watu kama wote, yet kama ungekuwa na hiyo pesa, hiyo shida yao ingekuwa solved anyway. That's it. Guys, let me know what you think. Pia kama you have a way we can help each other when it comes to hii mambo ya budgeting. Because kama mimi sasa nimeanguka. Right now, sina tukazi twingi tonye tutanisaidia ku kickstart. So I'm just surviving to make ends meet nini, but I am planning to get back on the track, cause unaweza kuwa na 70,000 na ufikirie it's a lot of money until you start budgeting. Ukianza kushuka na budget, wallahi hapo ndo huo na notice, kumbe hata shida yangu si tunatumia pesa vibaya. I have an income problem, not a spending problem. Anyway, that's it guys, that is it, and until next time, so bye bye.